Hello, 5th graders. Welcome to lesson 7.2, dividing whole numbers by fractions. Let's get started. Today's objective is I can divide fractions by whole numbers by creating models and proving with formulas with 100% accuracy in multiple attempts. Please pause to write the I can and by statement in your digital math notebook now. All right, friends, we're going to start off with an I problem, which means you're watching me do this problem. Yesterday in our lesson, we talked about dividing a fraction by a whole number. Today, we're going to go the opposite direction. We're going to start with a whole number and then divide by a fraction. But you'll see here that our steps are going to be very similar. Remember this from yesterday? Here we go. Our first step is to make sure all of our numbers are fractions. That just means we're going to take the 2 and put it over 1. Then we're going to keep the first number. It's a fraction now. Keep it. Leave it alone. Then we're going to change the sign, and yes, you guys are ready for it, we're going to flip the next one. So if 1/8 flips upside down, that means the 8 is going to go to the top and the 1 is going to go to the bottom. Next, we're going to multiply straight across the top and straight across the bottom. 2 times 8 is 16, and 1 times 1 is 1. Our last step is that we don't want to leave it as 16 ones, so we would convert it back to a whole number, 16. Remember yesterday when I gave you that hint and I said if you start with a fraction, you end with a fraction? Well, today you're going to see that if we start with a whole number, we're going to end with a whole number. Let's try some together. All right, guys, we're in your digital math notebook now. You have a page that looks like this. You have a spot for your answer and some lines to do the dividing. Let's start with our model. In our model, you can see that we have 2 whole things because look, we have two whole things. But then we're going to take those 2 things and split them each into thirds. So I have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So now look, okay, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. So if I have 2 cakes and I cut the cakes into thirds, then I will have 6 pieces of cake. They won't all be the same size, right? They're not 6 cakes now. They're 6 pieces of cake. So let's look at that with math. Our first thing is to keep, but we're going to make it into a fraction. Then we're going to change. So we're going to change division to multiplication. Then we're going to flip it upside down. So when we flip, we're going to take the 3 back to the top and the 1 to the bottom. Keep, change, flip it upside down. Now we're going to multiply straight across the top and straight across the bottom. 2 times 3 is 6 over 1, which we know is the same as 6 because we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces of cake. That was a piece of cake. Let's keep going. All right, guys, time for the lesson activity. Today's lesson activity has us dividing a whole number by a fraction. So our first step is to keep, but change it into a fraction. So invisible 1 is there. Then change, which means we're going to change from division to multiplying, and then flip it upside down. So the 4 goes to the top and the 1 goes to the bottom. And here's our hint again. This time, if we start with a whole number, we're going to end with a whole number. That means our answer will be a whole number with no fraction pieces. So 6 times 4 is 24 over 1. which means our answer is, I'm going to stop there. You fill in the last box on your own. Great job, fifth graders. When all of your information is completed in your digital math notebook and you feel comfortable with this lesson, complete the exit slip to show your teacher your understanding. Great job!